Have you ever been in a heated discussion that felt like a runaway train? Emotions run high, words become weapons, the atmosphere becomes charged, and it feels like every statement is a potential trigger for an explosion. In such moments, it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of emotions and lose control. It's easy to get swept up in the moment and lose sight of your goals. The original purpose of the conversation gets buried under layers of frustration and defensiveness. You might find yourself saying things you don't mean, or worse, not saying the things that truly matter. But what if there's a better way? What if, instead of reacting impulsively, you could respond thoughtfully? Imagine being able to maintain your composure even when the conversation heats up. This isn't just a fantasy, it's a skill that can be developed with practice and awareness. Mastering the art of calm debate is essential in today's world. In an era where opinions are often polarized, the ability to stay calm and collected can make a significant difference. It allows you to engage more effectively and ensures that your message is heard without being overshadowed by emotional outbursts. This skill empowers you to navigate challenging conversations with grace and effectiveness. It helps you to stay focused on your objectives and communicate your points with clarity and confidence. When you remain calm, you create a space where constructive dialogue can flourish. It allows you to articulate your thoughts clearly, even when faced with opposing viewpoints. Instead of getting defensive, you can listen actively and respond in a way that fosters understanding and respect. This not only enhances the quality of the conversation, but also strengthens your relationships. In this essay, we'll explore the dynamics of conversational tactics through the lens of a compelling example: Jordan Peterson's interview with Newman. This interview is a masterclass in maintaining composure under pressure and effectively communicating complex ideas. By understanding the strategies at play, we can learn to engage in more productive and respectful dialogues. These strategies can be applied in various aspects of life, from personal relationships to professional settings, helping us to build a more empathetic and connected world. Imagine you're arguing that children need more playtime. You emphasize the importance of outdoor activities for their physical and mental well-being. You highlight studies showing that playtime can enhance creativity, reduce stress, and improve social skills. Your opponent counters by saying, "So you're saying kids should never go to school?" This response twists your argument, making it seem like you're against education entirely. This is a classic example of a straw man argument, misrepresenting your position to make it easier to attack. Instead of addressing your actual point, they create a distorted version of it. Newman's line of questioning often utilized this tactic. In interviews, she would frequently reframe her guest statements into exaggerated or oversimplified versions. For instance, when discussing gender differences, she suggested Peterson believed women should be solely relegated to the home. This was a gross misrepresentation of his nuanced views on gender roles and societal expectations. This mischaracterization of Peterson's nuanced argument allowed her to present a simplified and easily refutable stance. By doing so, she avoided engaging with the complexities of his actual position. To combat strawman arguments, it's vital to clarify your position. Make sure your opponent and the audience understand your true stance. Calmly point out the misrepresentation and restate your actual argument. Use clear and precise language to avoid further misunderstanding. Don't let others define your stance for you. Stand firm and ensure your voice is heard accurately. By doing so, you maintain the integrity of your argument and foster a more honest and productive dialogue. Controlling the tempo. Imagine a rapid-fire interrogation. Questions come at you relentlessly, leaving little room to think or respond thoughtfully. This is a deliberate tactic used to overwhelm and control the conversation. While Newman's interview style wasn't quite an interrogation, she did maintain a brisk pace, often interrupting Peterson and steering the conversation in her intended direction. Take a moment to gather your thoughts before responding. If necessary, politely request clarification or ask for a question to be repeated. Power of visual imagery. Imagine trying to explain a complex scientific concept. Technical jargon might confuse your audience, but a simple analogy, like comparing cells to building blocks, can make the concept instantly relatable. Peterson effectively utilized visual imagery throughout his interview. When discussing societal hierarchies, he referenced the social structures of lobsters, creatures with surprisingly similar hierarchies to humans. This analogy, while seemingly unconventional, provided a tangible framework for understanding a complex topic. Don't underestimate the power of visual language. Metaphors, similes, and vivid descriptions can make your arguments more engaging and easier to grasp. Seeking common ground. Imagine two people on opposite sides of a chasm. Their differences seem insurmountable. But if they can find even a small patch of common ground, it can serve as a starting point for building a bridge of understanding. While the Peterson-Newman interview was undoubtedly heated, there were moments where both parties found common ground. Identifying and acknowledging these points of agreement can help de-escalate tension and foster a more constructive dialogue. Actively listen for areas where your perspectives align, even if they seem minor. Highlighting these shared viewpoints can shift the tone of the conversation from adversarial to collaborative. A masterclass in calm. Throughout his interview with Newman, Peterson exemplified the power of remaining calm under pressure. His composed demeanor, even when faced with provocative questions, allowed him to think clearly and articulate his arguments effectively. Peterson consistently addressed Newman with respect, even when challenging her assertions. This respectful approach prevented the conversation from devolving into personal attacks. Peterson's composure throughout the interview highlights the importance of emotional regulation in challenging conversations. By maintaining your composure, you can avoid saying or doing something you might later regret. By applying the lessons learned, you can navigate these situations with greater confidence and skill. Remember to unpack presuppositions, dismantle strawman arguments, control the tempo, utilize visual imagery, and seek common ground. These tools, when used effectively, can transform heated debates into opportunities for growth and understanding. Most importantly, remember that true dialogue requires respect, empathy, and a willingness to listen. By approaching challenging conversations with these principles in mind, you can contribute to a more civil and productive discourse.